Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Broc Gardner versus the world. Possibly the worst episode I'll ever do in my life, but please continue watching. So, the story of this episode is I didn't have a guest for this week. I ran out of guests, okay? So, number one, first of all, if you want to be on the podcast, if you have something to say, if you're a creator, not even a creator. So, here's the deal. Sorry, I'm getting way ahead of myself. Here's the deal. I don't want this podcast to just stay the way it has been. I've really loved where it's gone, where it's shifted, but I feel like it's getting a little repetitive. So I've been getting guests from TikTok, and then I ask them about TikTok, talk to them about like creating and stuff like that. And I feel like I've liked the episodes a lot. I've had a good time. I feel like it's been really productive and really good at like making some good connections, but I don't want this to be repetitive. If that makes any sense. I want to keep evolving the podcast. And so what is that? What is the next evolution? I don't know yet, and I'm going to be figuring that out here in the next couple months. But for right now, so here's what it was. So I didn't have a guest for this week. And so I was like, all right, I've had this idea where I want to go on Omegle and kind of ask people and have like long form conversations on Omegle. Because like most of the time when you see stuff like with Omegle on TikTok or like YouTube, it's like short form. They're just like kind of messing with people on Omegle, asking them like funny questions or like, stuff like that, like comedic Omegle purposes. But I wanted to use it for like long form discussions, like ask them about their passions, and I don't know how well it would have gone. I wanted to ask them about their passions, like how they plan on making money in the future. Like the greatest lessons they've learned in their lives, just like try and get cool stories or like perspectives out of people across the world. And I thought that was going to be a cool idea. So then I get on Omegle just barely. That was my whole plan for the show. I get on Omegle just barely. And apparently I'm banned from Omegle. Don't know why. Literally have no clue why. I went on Omegle, clicked the video chat button. It brings me to the screen. And then all of a sudden it brings me to like 18 or older plus, like porn. And it's like cam meagle. It's like talk to cam girls. I'm like, no, this isn't what I really intend on doing right now. And then so I tried it like a couple times trying to get the moderated version because, it's hard to like have a conversation with a penis. And so I was trying to get on the moderated version. And it wouldn't let me on. And then I finally read the message that it kept giving me, and it was like, your computer is banned for something behavior. You're not allowed to use the unmoderated version. You can only use the prawn version. And so now I literally have no clue what I'm going to do for this podcast, but that's awesome, dude. Isn't that fantastic? Isn't that great? I guess we could talk about the book. I haven't been reading the 4-Hour Workweek as much. I've been trying to get into it a little more. I've been reading like a chapter a week, but I had to work like a bunch this week because it was spring break, and I get to work a lot on my spring break. So I downloaded Shoe Dog by Phil Knight because that's something that Alex from Sobro was reading and recommended on the podcast. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna try it out. So I bought it, and I've listened to like over half of it. It's like 13 hours. I think I've listened to like 8 or 9 hours. And it's pretty dope, dude. But so Phil Knight, this is where I'm trying to say with this one, that I've been thinking a lot about. When he went to college and stuff, went to high school, went to college. I think he went to college for like business or something like that. And then he just decided to like pick up and take this trip around the world before he really had to dive into life. And back then, I guess it only cost him like, I think it only cost him like $3,000. Like you figure he scrounged up $3,000 to go travel to all these different places like Tokyo, Hawaii, like all the beautiful places you'd want to go in the world. He like scrounged up enough money to make that trip, and everyone was like, why are you doing this? Why are you going on this trip like blowing all your money? And I don't know. It's just kind of an interesting. Now I'm like seriously considering. So one of my ideas that I've always thought was interesting was like buying a bus, like a school bus or like an RV or some type of motorized home or something I could turn into a motorized home, and like pimping it out and putting a studio in it and like a bed. Like I would live in it, record in it, and then I could just drive that around. I was going to do it around the country. I was thinking like it would be cool to do like a podcast in every state with the person from every state. So 52 weeks, 50 states. So it'd take like about a year. I just spend a week in a state doing a podcast. The problem is, how do I get the money to do that? I have a savings. Do I want to blow it all on taking a huge trip around the country or the globe? Right now, I've been around the country. I've been to most of the states. So I've seen most of the stuff there is here. So I'm thinking I want to go like take a trip around the world. The logistics of that, I'm trying to figure out. Where I'd want to go, I'm trying to figure that out, you know? There's some dope places I was researching, you know, just like the classics, like Machu Picchu. I just want to see like the beautiful places in the world, if that makes any sense. And just like, I don't know. It kind of ties into the 4-hour work week as well, because he did that. He started this business online and figured out how to make it work for him, and then just traveled for months. Just left for like 6 months. Traveled the world. And people think it's a way more far-fetched idea than I think it really is. And so that's kind of why I want to pull it off, is because just to like prove to people that you don't have to do the conventional, like get out of high school, go to college. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that life at all, obviously. But like in my eyes, I guess it might just be my personality. Like I want to experience stuff. Like I've really been thinking about this a lot lately. So I'm just spilling. This is what you get when I don't have a good podcast plan. So I've been thinking like you only live one life, really. And you got like maybe on average like 70, 75 years here, and you already waste like, I don't know, 17 or 18 of those when you become conscious that you only have, like I've just became conscious that I'm going to die like recently. And so I'm like, oh, I've already wasted 17. I need to make whatever the rest is count. So like you can work your whole life to get that retirement, and then get the retirement and have like a decent, cool life golfing or whatever until you die. But I don't want that life. And I know it's easy to say that you don't want to work your whole life, but I don't. I want to work. I want to contribute. It's not like I just want to mooch off people. I want to contribute, but I want to figure out how to do it so that I'm not wasting my life. I want to experience life while also contributing and just like being happy. I want to be happy. I'm happy right now, but I want to be like, I want to look back on my life and be like that there's no regrets back then, you know? Because when I'm dying, when I'm on my deathbed, I don't want to look back and see that I went to work for 8 hours a day, every day. I took a couple cool vacations, went to Hawaii that one year, went to Disneyland a couple years. And again, I don't want to because I really hate when people bag on the conventional 9 to 5, having a family, because that is, there's things that I don't know. There's things that I really don't understand, and I know that. And everybody says that family is like the key to happiness. Children, when you ask anybody about happiness, they'll say children most of the time. And I obviously don't understand that because I don't have children, but so I'm not bagging on this life, I guess. But what I want is to look back and say, I live life to the fullest. I want to, because there's so many places in the world, and I want to see it all, you know? And I don't see what's stopping me, honestly. Money, I guess, but you can figure out, I don't know. I think people want safety and security over what they actually want, and I guess that's where I differ. I don't need the safety and security part of life. And that's where like the family comes in. So I'm not necessarily bagging on having a family, but it does, when you have people that depend on you, you kind of have to settle down and get that 9 to 5 so you can provide for them. But like, I don't know. Is this making any sense? I wanna. If you're like having these thoughts too, like DM me right now, and let's talk about this and trying to figure this out because I'm really considering it because there's really you only live once, and people most of the time people use the YOLO thing like when they're about to do something really dumb and like that could kill them, but I'm using it like you only live once, so live, like experience all this stuff. Go to all these places, learn all these different cultures, do all these things that you really only see in the movies. Like that's what's really funny. Is people think it's just so out of reach, and I really don't. In my brain right now, I really don't think it is that far out of reach. I really don't think it's that far out of what we can do, even as a college student. Does this make any sense? So now I'm trying to figure out like how can I make money while I'm doing this adventure, whatever it's gonna be. I might go to college first, uh, just because, or I might do it right after high school. I really don't know. I'm trying to figure stuff out right now, dude. It's a weird time in life, man. It really is it's a strange time in my life. I'm in this weird spot, especially right now, March 2021. I'm graduating in 3 months. Like I get really weird. I don't want to say anxiety because that's such a loose term that people use. But I get in a weird headspace when like my life is about to shift. Like I really like routine. I really like routine for the most part. Like I like to get up and I like to have steps during the day. I don't like to mess stuff up. I like times. Like I like to be like I have to be here at this time, here at this time. It's going to take this long, and I like to schedule it out during the day. So like I'm going to have like a major life shift. So like during like school breaks, I'll get like super weirded out and like especially summertime. Like and I guess everybody gets it in like May cuz it's kind of like senioritis or whatever. But I've been getting like my whole entire career at school. It's like right before summer starts, I know that my life's going to change and I'm going to have to like adjust. So it's like a weird time and I don't know how to explain it. And then same thing when I'm like about to go back to school and then like Christmas break, spring break especially. It's just weird. So like I understand that this is going to be my biggest life shift. Like I'm moving out. I have to figure out what to do with a career, school, whatever this trip is. I don't know. The podcast, like everything's going to change. People are going to leave. A lot of new people coming in. And so it's just kind of a weird space in my life. Like I feel like whatever relationship I make right now with like new people is just going to be gone. So like why even make them? If that makes any sense. What to talk about, dude? What to freaking talk about? So yeah, the I don't know. I said that to somebody the other day and they just laughed in my face. Like the vacation thing. Not vacation. I would be working. It's actually not a vacation. I wouldn't classify it as that. I would classify it as just like drifting, you know? Like so Phil Knight, creator of Nike, guy that wrote Shoe Dog that I'm listening to right now. He decided to go on this trip and then him and his friend went to this one island. I don't remember what it was. It might have been a Hawaiian island. I don't know the islands of Hawaii, dude. Sorry. But they went to this island and they were just like liked it so much that they just lived there. They got jobs and then they just surfed and then lived on this island. And there's been like countless cases. Like I know people in my life that have done something similar to that where they just move to a new country and then just kind of take work and then just kind of live there. And people just don't think that that's possible for some reason. For some reason, it's out of grasp in our society. You can't just move to to freaking New Zealand. You can't move to New Zealand and just, get a job there and live there in this beautiful place. You have to live here in this town and get a job at the steel mill. I don't know. That's just what I've been thinking about recently. Don't know if any of that makes any sense. But if you're having similar thoughts, just know that just know you don't have to do exactly what you think you do. I think college is good for most people. I think it's necessary for most people today. It's not necessary in the grand scheme of things. Like if you think about it, college itself isn't necessary, but they've made it necessary. So you have to have that diploma, that degree, that piece of paper that says you're certified in order to get a lot of jobs. But like if you think about it, it is a money making machine. I don't think you have to go like right after high school. You don't have to go for the solid 4 years. I know people that have just taken a semester off and just like worked in the middle of taking college courses. You don't have to get married. Like I saw this thing that was like, it was bagging on Christians. It was just like Christians are like, yo, high school is a wild ride. Time to settle down with some marriage, I just thought that was funny. But it's kind of true, not with Christians, just like people, I don't know, to each their own. I guess I'm just spouting off my feelings. Obviously, I don't think everybody should think or live the same way, but that's kind of what I'm getting at, is that people don't have to live or think the same way. You don't have to do, especially whatever your parents tell you or your teachers. A lot of these people don't understand, which is kind of interesting to think about. Like, adults now don't really understand the modern world and how a lot of things work. Like, you can see it with them trying to use technology. It's like things are different now. You don't have to do everything that you used to have to do. And I think it's kind of weird that, adults, there's a certain generation that runs the world right now and are teaching people and helping people get to these different steps, and they kind of don't understand what the modern world is right now. Most of them. Is that pretentious to say? And we won't understand when I'm an adult, when I'm a parent trying to guide my kid through life. I don't think I'll really understand what his world is like. Maybe not what my world is like, but what his world is like. Because it's completely different. There's going to be so much new stuff, new technology, new platforms, new outlets, new ways to like maneuver into things. I don't know what I'm saying. It's just kind of interesting to think about. So I think most people don't know what they're talking about anyways. Doesn't mean don't take advice from anybody, don't take help from anybody, because there are people that are genuinely trying to help you. But and something else is like, some people don't want you, like most people don't want you to have a better life than them. And like, I don't want to bag on anybody, because I really don't like I have respect for like everybody, especially if you're like trying to help people, go through life. But it's like a lot of people don't want to see you succeed. They want to see you succeed, but they don't want to see you succeed more than them. They don't want you to do better than them. They want you to do slightly worse than them. So it's hard for me to like trust people in any capacity, because I feel like everybody wants to see me not fail. I have a lot of support and stuff like that from everybody, and I love you guys, but I don't know if you guys are picking up what I'm saying. I feel so dumb right now. But do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's a lot of people that want to see you not do better than them, because everyone wants to be top dog. I don't know if that's valid. That's just my thoughts, It's weird, man. Podcasting is weird. I don't know what I want to do still. I don't know what I want to do with creating. I have a vision. My goal for like life. So the most important thing I think is what I'm reading about it right now. It's talking about it in the 4-hour work week. One of the biggest things is like, you need to create a business, create an industry that you can replace yourself. So I think my biggest goal right now is to like create a network of creating, whether that's like a podcast network or like, I don't really know how to explain it. It's like just create like a company, a network, a brand. Create a brand with this creation. Get other people on board with it. Hire people. Because I would say the best example of what I'm trying to explain is like Barstool Sports. So Portnoy creates this company, builds it from the ground up, has it sustain itself. It's like a radio station, sports news. They got cool merchandise, all this stuff. And this one brand, Barstool. And now he's such a smart dude. Portnoy's such a smart guy. He's kind of a douchebag, but I like it. He's like super smart. So now they're like purchasing these podcasts like Call Her Daddy, which I don't know if you guys know what that is. It's probably one of the biggest. It's definitely the biggest female podcast out there. Can't remember the chick's name that runs it, but that's like, so they purchased that. They own that podcast. They own the merch. They make money from that podcast, but also they made that podcast in a way. So I think it's kind of a cool thing. So like Barstool had the base, they had the audience, and then they took this podcast that they saw potential in and they boosted it enough to have it just take off. And so once they boosted it to this level, once it started getting recognition, it just took off. And now they have the biggest female hosted podcast probably of all time. And the merch, I'm fairly certain that the merch goes crazy for that podcast, and they now own a portion of that podcast, and they created it out of nothing, basically. They took the podcast and they made it what it is, and now I don't really know, but that's kind of my goal. Is I want to have a network like that, have a company like that, where it's a network of different shows, different content, different creating things. And then I want to make Utah more of a hub for creators, you know, kind of like how Rogan's doing it with Austin. They did it with LA. Like I want to figure out how to make Utah, especially Southern Utah, like a hub for creation. I think that would be super interesting. But first I got to make a name for myself, obviously, which is what I'm trying to do right now. I'm going to be putting out podcasts, obviously. Next week's will be way better than this. I sincerely apologize for this podcast. Everything just tanked. So I'm doing this completely impromptu, no notes. But the following podcast obviously will be great. And then I'll be doing vlogs or like videos every week too. And then I'm gonna try and do TikTok more. But I'm really trying to I just don't have a lot of time. But I'm really trying to put as much content as I possibly can into the world. So that's all that is. And I hope it pays off. And honestly, it's super I've grown so much. Obviously I'm not huge right now, but I've grown so much in the past September to now. What is that? 6 months? I really don't know. So in the past 6 months I've grown. The podcast has grown. My name's just out there more. I've made more connections, and it's only been 6 months. I look at numbers. I need to stop looking at numbers because it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. But I look at numbers a lot. I'm a numbers guy. I like to look at the analytics and stuff and see why a podcast did better than the other one. What I can do to the next podcast to make it do better numbers. So I'm always looking at views, likes, comments, audience retention, stuff like that. And in the past 6 months, it's been crazy. So when I'm looking at these numbers, and if a podcast doesn't do that well, or if I get discouraged because I'm oh, my podcast, I don't have that huge audience that can make me because so here's the thing. So people say a lot of the time that if you are worried about money when you're content creating, then it's you don't actually have a passion for it, I guess, to sum it up. And I don't agree with that at all. Because I think I have more of a passion because I want to have it sustain itself. So I love to do podcasts, I love to make videos, I love to just create content. I love to make people laugh and happy. That's literally my base. I like to have people watch my stuff, be entertained, and then hopefully just make them smile at one point or another throughout the thing. So I want to do that, and I love it more than anything. And so in order to keep doing that, I have to have it and make money. So I don't think it's selfish, or I don't think it's, I don't think it's a bad thing to want to make money from your content. I just don't agree with that. So, but yeah, if you guys want to support me, dude, honestly, sharing this and liking, commenting, subscribing. There's a lot of people that just don't subscribe, which I think is so funny. People will just like watch the stuff, but then they just will never subscribe, which is, it's fine, but it's funny. So subscribe, watch all the content, share it. Word of mouth probably goes a long way. And I'm doing my part, dude. I don't expect to just like put out garbage content and then have you guys react to it in a positive way. Like I'm trying to do my part too and make better content for you guys. I think it's mostly my fault that things haven't really. But like when I look at those numbers and I'm like feeling like low because I'm not a big podcaster, I look at like how long I've been doing it. Not that long, dude. I've been doing it for over a year, but like I took a lot of breaks in between. I wasn't consistent until September. And then even from September to now, it feels like I've been doing it for a long time, but it's only been 6 months. I haven't been doing it consistently for even a year yet. And so that's always nice, honestly, because it's like you've got time. Welcome to my therapy session, dude. Judas Priest. I don't know what's happening right now. Hope you guys enjoy this. To be honest, I don't know quite what else I want to talk about. Actually, my video is going up in 2 hours, which is good, fun. So my goal for July is to get 500 subs on YouTube. So if you guys could somehow make that happen, that would be swell. Honestly, just subscribe. We've gotten so many more. We're gaining a lot. We're growing at a faster rate than we were a month ago, which is really cool. We have like 321, I think, right now. But in order to get the rest, we need to grow even faster. So tell your friends. I'm going to push out so much content and do so much stuff to try and reach that goal. But by July 1st, I want to have 500 subs on YouTube. And that's my goal, and we're going to do it. And if you guys could help, that would be so sick. Other than that, I really don't know what else I want to talk about. Dude, I'm so sorry for this podcast. There will be a video out on Monday for sure. And TikToks, you can find all that stuff in the description. Next week, I'll have a guest, I promise. I'll have a guest, or I'll do something cool, something better. I'm actually not going to say it. I'm gonna leave it in the dark as a surprise. But I'm going to do some cool stuff soon. So this is a rare case. I just feel like I have to excuse that, dude, because I feel so insecure when it's just me talking, especially about like personal stuff that I'm thinking, because I feel like people just don't care. So if you do care, leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. And if you don't care, that's fine. That's totally cool. Thank you for watching anyways to this point. That's really impressive, actually. Yeah, love you guys so much. Have an amazing day.